Hey, what's up? It's Jim, and I just got back from the new film, Silver Linings Playbook. Pat, played by Bradley Cooper, who has been released from a mental institution in Baltimore to his parents' custody in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. He was put in a mental institution because he attacked his ex-wife's lover when he caught them together doing it in the shower, and he completely flipped out and decided that it was easier to do mental illness, do 8 months in a mental institution than do 8 months in prison, and they found out that he was bipolar. And all the trials and tribulations that are going on when he comes back to his parents' house, he wakes them up in the middle of the night that he's upset with A Farewell to Arms by Ernest Hemingway. He's just very manic and hard to deal with. And then he finds equally troubled Tiffany, whose police officer husband recently died. They start jogging together and find each other, and as Pat is trying to get in touch with his ex-wife, who has a restraining order against him because of the whole freak out thing, he asks Tiffany to give his wife, Pat's wife, the letter. However, she will only help him communicate with his ex-wife if she helps him in this dance competition and comes and practices with him so that they can enter the dance competition. As Tiffany and Pat rehearse more and more, it helps Pat get better and the romance blooms. The film tries to match Pat's kind of manic nature and tries to have kind of a manic way about it. I mean, I almost felt when the movie started I was watching a sped up, edited down version of the film because it was just going so quickly. It seemed to be going in this manic way about itself, especially when they do a pan. They'd speed it up and it almost felt like I was watching Evil Dead 2. It was just a little jarring. This film has a lot of heart in it, a very well made, well directed kind of romantic comedy studio film, the kind of stuff we don't really see anymore to be directed at this level. This is kind of the exception to what the modern rom-com is. I don't know if this is strictly a rom-com. I think it's trying to do a little bit more than just that, and it's great to see someone actually do that because it's such a dead fucking genre. This kind of breathes new life into it and shows, you know, if you get a good director who really knows how to use an ensemble like this. I mean, there are certain scenes where you had Jennifer Lawrence and Robert De Niro and the whole huge cast of everyone together, and it reminded me of the ending of Moonstruck and the great work Norman Jewison did with that cast. Kind of reminds me of what David O. Russell is doing with this cast, and he's great with an ensemble. Most of his films have several leads. It's not just one single lead. He's very good at balancing a lot of different actors and getting them to play well off of each other. De Niro, he seemed more into it than he usually is. He seemed more interested in this film. He seemed like he really wanted to be there. Bradley Cooper, I mean, I don't think Bradley Cooper's an amazing actor, but he has a lot more presence than his contemporaries like Ryan Reynolds and Chris Pine. Whoever played Pat in this film really has to match kind of the manic nature and aesthetic that the film's really going for, especially towards the beginning. Bradley Cooper's really good at that, and I'm not sure if the film's matching him or he's matching the film. His performance works so well thematically and aesthetically with what's going on, but you can almost like forget about it because it's like you're walking into a room with a really nice coat of paint and you just feel the color temperature on your skin. You might not notice it, but you can definitely feel it. It's an interesting performance because he's really got to be the manic person that kind of riles all these people up. A lot of acting is getting the other actors to react in certain ways, and he's very good at that in this film. And it kind of shows he's a lot more mature and in-depth actor than just what I think he's known for, which is, you know, that good-looking guy in The Hangover. And Jennifer Lawrence is really good. I think it's hard to play kooky, especially now that everyone's kooky and quirky, and actually do it and kind of have an earnestness about it. And anytime Jennifer Lawrence is in a movie, it's like a plus. She's definitely like one of the great movie stars of her generation. And in fact, I think she's the only real movie star of her entire age group. She's usually the actor that while I'm watching the film, I'm most interested in her character. Like, she brings such a presence to the film. Also, it was nice seeing Chris Tucker and not doing a very Chris Tucker-y performance, you know? It's not the Chris Tucker we remember from the Rush Hour movies. It was very much like a calm down Chris Tucker, which I'm not sure if I liked, but I did like seeing him. The thing about Silver Lining Playbook is if David O. Russell had directed this straight and not tried to do so much manic stuff, and especially at the beginning it felt like it was just going too quickly. Like, I almost wanted to be like, calm down, please, you're going too fast for me. If he had directed this in kind of a normal, kind of regular studio way, would this film have been better? I almost feel like his aesthetics get in the way in the beginning. At the end, I almost don't notice. I think the ending is just such a beautiful, kind of nice very studio rom-com joyous ending. It actually reminded me of how much fun that could really be. This isn't really the film to really do it with. It just felt like he's just pushing it a little too far. I wish he had kind of just eased us into it more, because this is kind of the film that you expect to be eased into more. And this film, I think, remind me a lot of The Fighter. Very much a local film. Instead of a Boston setting in The Fighter, this is Philadelphia. It's very much about the Philadelphia Eagles, capturing a local scene. It's, you know, very regional, much like The Fighter. Very family-oriented film, and how that whole family unit is important to that main character. And of course, there's a girl that person really likes. Like, instead of Amy Adams, we have Jennifer Lawrence. It's very similar to The Fighter. And I think I always used to, you know, respect David O. Russell more than kind of doing something that's so close to what he used to do. Is this what I'm going to see from David O. Russell now? A David O. Russell type movie? Although he does kind of have a type movie, I didn't ever think he'd follow one of his other movies so closely. To be honest, I actually think The Fighter is a better movie than Silver Linings Playbook. Although I like Silver Linings Playbook. I think it's a good film, but aesthetically it was just sometimes too much. He should have just rested on that he had a very solid kind of film in this. But what he was doing didn't entirely work with what he wanted to do, trying to be too much of an auteur. So if you have seen Silver Linings Playbook and you would like to talk about it, then comment below in the comments, and subscribe if you would like to.